important message from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. The potential for civil unrest serves an important reminder for FFLs to ensure the security of your inventory and property and to report all
robocalls. It has been blown up off the hook today. Today's video is brought to you by First Form. This is a pro-freedom supplement and nutrition company. And when I think of their products for you, I think of adding value to your life. And there is one product of theirs that I use more frequently than anything else that they make, and that is their meat sticks. They have these in approximately a 20 gram of protein stick. Think smoked meat. Doesn't need to be refrigerated. Eat it on the go when you get hungry. This channel is sponsored by them. I'm literally doing an ad for them right now, and I purchased these. So what I suggest you do is go down in the pinned comment, use the link that I have listed there. That is an affiliate link. It generates sales for the channel, and let them know that I sent you. Special thanks to First Form for making today's video possible. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. You're watching the VSO Gun Channel, and today I'm doing kind of an update, or I suppose addendum video to my video yesterday that was talking about getting the Short Act and the HPA over the finish line as part of this reconciliation bill. And after I published that video, like literally like 20 minutes afterwards, I got a message from my folks over at Gun Owners of America that said that they had a meeting with Senator Marshall, and they actually put out a video, and I wanted to go over some of the messaging in that video because I think it's really important for really not only gathering our people and getting them to go forward and call their senators, hit them up on X and all that sort of stuff, but also make sure that we get the messaging right as well, because I just think that there's going to be a lot of attacks from different angles now the HPA is in the bill, but especially moving forward to the short-barreled stuff. And so I would say the low-hanging fruit is the suppressors. The short-barreled stuff, people just do not understand. And I think that the messaging here is on point. And I would also like to say really quick that I'm a huge fan of Gun Owners of America. They are my organization. They represent me. And Erich Pratt looks really spiffy in this video, but he's just a regular old dude, and I like hanging out with the guy. He is not the type of dude that's going to be blowing millions of dollars like the folks over at the NRA would be on extraneous expenses that are not germane to the fight for our rights. So without further ado, Mr. Erich Pratt and Senator Marshall.
Hey, this is Erich Pratt with Gun Owners of America, and today we are talking about repealing the unconstitutional tax on short barrel firearms. And so I'm really pleased to be joined here by the author and chief sponsor of that legislation, Senator Roger Marshall. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy day. As you know, the chief sponsor of the legislation, what do you think are our chances of getting your bill into the big, beautiful bill?
Well, it's hard to believe, but I think there's a better than average chance. I'm not going to overpromise, but this is why we need GOA with us, that we need you all to be out there writing, emailing your senators, your members of Congress, and say, please include this. And then just trying to explain why it's so important. That to me, in my humble opinion, a short-barreled rifle shotgun is such a great defense weapon. It's easily controllable. It's not as loud. I think it's the weapon of choice for many, many, many women. So I think that would be the big advantage of getting it across the finish line. And I think we need to be able to talk about just what a hassle factor it is right now to get a short-barreled rifle. It's what, $200, I think, and typically it was taking 6 to 9 months to get the permit through the system if you could get it through.
So first off, basically a confirmation of literally everything I said yesterday, which is you've got to start now. You got to be consistent. You got to do it often. You have to just remind these people that you are watching what they are doing, and this is something that you care about. You got to be respectful, of course, but be firm and let them know that this is super important to you. And if they don't do it, that you're going to be very upset, and they will lose your support going forward. That said, when it comes to the individual messaging, I think that particularly the angle when it comes to like self-defense for women or home defense for women, the short-barreled weapon is a really good argument. Because, like, look, when I look at myself, for instance, I'm 5'11", 240 pounds. I go to the gym basically every day of the week. And while I'm not as physically capable as I once was, at least in a stand-up fight, I've got an opportunity. But when I think about like my wife's situation, who is in considerably better shape than I am, she's like one of those like superhumans that likes to work outside consistently. She has an indoor job, but like all of her hobbies are outdoor and like endurance and strength related stuff. If I had half of the physical fitness level that she had, I would be Mr. Olympia. Her brother is the exact opposite. He doesn't do any of that sort of stuff. But just by the nature of the fact that he outweighs her, he outreaches her, and is approximately a foot taller than she is, he towers even over me, he could beat the ever-living shit out of her, provided that he could catch her. But I mean, that's an argument for another day. Just by the fact that he has all those attributes, he has testosterone flowing through his body. I mean, even as strong as my wife is, she doesn't have the certain aspects of strength that we as dudes kind of just get. Like, I can rack my handgun with like 2 fingers. Okay, she has to do the alternative techniques of using the large muscles because they just aren't developed in the way that you and I, speaking to the men out there, of course, that you and I's musculature develops because we have testosterone coursing through our brains, or our bodies, but brains too. My brain is mostly testosterone, I suppose. The point I'm trying to make is while, many of us will use short-barreled weapons because of the cool factor, they have a practical use, and that is that they are the same capacity as far as like the regular full-size rifle is concerned, but in a much more portable, manageable package. And when we're talking about self-defense for women, I find it disgusting and entirely sexist that these things are locked behind a process of acquisition that is, to be honest, tedious and difficult to navigate. Not for somebody who's done it a whole bunch of times, but for somebody who's trying to understand it for the first time, it's daunting. It just is. And to deny our women the most effective defensive tools because of some legal minutia is disgusting to me. And anybody who's perpetuating that should be ashamed of themselves. As another anecdote, my wife has shot the short-barreled stuff. She likes the short-barreled stuff considerably better than the full-sized guns because they just get front heavy. They just do. And Clint Smith, handguns put holes in people, rifles put holes through people, and shotguns will remove a piece of shit from your enemy and distribute it on the floor, right? Why on earth would we say you should use a handgun because you're a girl? That's absolutely ridiculous.
It was taking 6 to 9 months to get the permit through the system if you could get it through.
2 more things I want to touch on. In that clip from the senator, you heard him call it a permit. And I think that this is a firm illustration of how the dude who literally proposed the legislation doesn't even understand what it is that they're trying to do. It is not a permit. It's a tax return. It is a sin tax that was paid for the purpose of creating a legal structure to go after people that were likely unwilling to pay the tax. Gangsters at the time when it was passed. They were using the Al Capone model, the tax evasion thing. Oh, got you on tax evasion, get you off the street type thing. That's what they were trying to do at the time. It isn't a permit. It is a punishment tax to curtail particular behavior. and that is unacceptable. But this is, again, a firm example of why you have to go out and do the work, because this dude wrote the bill and he doesn't even get the terminology right. So you think that his colleagues that don't know what end the sperm comes out of are going to be able to figure out what this means or why it's important? That's why we have to do the work, because they just don't get it at all. They live in a fantasy land. One more clip.
If your senator gives you any flack about it costing money, just remind them that they've been unconstitutionally taxing a constitutional right for almost 100 years. So it's really time that we put a stop to that.
Good job, Erich Pratt, setting it the way it ought to be set. Get out there and get moving, folks. This one is entirely on you.